Hello and welcome to another 30-second tech tip. Today we're talking about data organization using Google Sheets. What I have here is a Google Sheet. I have all my list of students here. I put titles and headers on here for each one of them. Their math star test, their reading star test, we have their Pearson test, the MCA test. And what happens is as we move over here, I forget which student this is right here that scored a 470 on their MCA math test. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to keep this frozen here so as I scroll over, I don't lose who I am. Also, as I go down, I'm kind of losing track of what test was this, reading or math again? Because I see that student 26 is not doing well in one of them and doing well in the other. They're red here, which means I've got them indicated as needing help, and then green, which means they're right on track. So which test is that for those kids? Who are those kids? How do we keep those frozen? Well, very simply, what we're going to go to is view and freeze. If you go to view, freeze, you can freeze one row, which will freeze the top row automatically. So now as I scroll down, it'll keep this header there. Oh yeah, the second one is the star reading test. So this student earning a 602, student number 26, is doing well in the star reading. Star math is where they're having their struggles. All right, and then to prevent the scrolling from the other side, you go view, freeze, and I'm going to do two columns this time because you'll notice that I have their last name and their first name and student 1, student 2 on there. So now as I scroll over, you will see that I can see student 3, MCA reading right here. Oh, they didn't take the MCA in our district that year. So I don't have their score. Bad example, student 7, 468, doing fine. So I froze those there. To unfreeze them, view, freeze, and then no rows, no columns. But I want to keep those like that. Alrighty, so I've got those. These are awful big, so if I want to change that, I can just simply grab it and shrink it down. Star math test, I know it was in September for the first one, and then I could go to the next one and move it over and then keep that organized, or however you want to do, but you can move those over. If you double click on them, it'll jump to that size, the largest number in there it'll jump to, and I'll format that for you as well. So there's another formatting tip. Now, how did I get these yellows and greens and reds to indicate students and where they are at? Well, what you'll want to do is just click and highlight a portion of a column. In this case, it's the Pearson test for September. I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to go to classical format, or I'm sorry, conditional formatting. When I do that, it's going to automatically be, well, I selected row E or column E, so E2 to E15, and you should select everything and all the way down, but I just did a chunk here. And the cell is not empty. We're going to change that to is greater than. So format the cells. If it's greater than, let's say 79, we're going to change the color to green. So if your score was greater than 79, you are right where we want you to be. You're on track. You're going to be green. I would match this right up with the star scores that are on the reports that you get from star. Then I would add another rule. And let's say that if you're greater than 25, and again, matching up the star numbers, I don't know what they are for your grade, but if I match up the star numbers in yellow, it would be any number greater than 25, except for when it gets to be 79 or larger, then it is staying green. And then do one more, add another rule, and I always do a greater than 0, and my custom color would be red. Oops, and I chose the wrong one there. Custom color, I want to keep that the same, but we're going to go here, and that will be red. All right, so now I click done. Notice the changes automatically appeared there, and here's my formatting. If it's greater than 79, it's green. A greater value than 25, yellow. A greater value than 0, red. What I like about this is now I can easily look at my kids and see who is where and who needs to be where on my chart. All right, I also can organize by this, these numbers as well, but it's just nice to look across and see, oh, student 21, here's their star, struggling. Here's their star, or their MCA, struggling. There's a definite correlation there. Student 23, doing green for reading. We missed the MCA reading on there. It's a bad example. How about student 23, 698 in green for math, in green for MCA math. star reading, star, or MCA reading. So you can go ahead and see how those compare and how their growth has improved. So you can just kind of see how those kids have been doing with their improvement. So color code and organize your data by right-clicking while highlighting, right-clicking, conditional formatting, and then filling in greater than, and it will let you take a value, 56, and done, and they are all greater than 56, so they'll turn to that color. And then remember that you can always go view, freeze, 1 row or 2 rows, columns 1 to 2, so that everything will scroll and be organized nicely for you. I could also see this working when you're doing groups for data. So if you are doing maybe a daily rotation, you can kind of keep everything organized by putting this header on there, nice and easy for you. So that's how you make rows, columns freeze and condition those columns and numbers. I hope you enjoyed another 30-second, way longer tech tip.